Another dude making a video in his car, man. Let's see, I started watching like a bunch of red pill videos, like a bunch of like black YouTube red pill videos. Realized that they were really obsessed with being angry with women, man. Like, why are we so obsessed with girls? Why do we do everything for women and then pretend like it's not for them? This separation of attention between genders is the reason why a lot of us don't understand each other in the first place, because in a sense it's popularized to not care about one another. I couldn't keep watching those videos, man. That's my point, to be honest. I just could not keep watching those videos because it was like, I wouldn't want nobody to treat my daughter or my mom like this, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want nobody to quantify her characteristics as if there's something that can be won over with the critique of an attribute that I can buy in a store. The woman that I raise, hopefully, that's a part of my life, won't even want to be with a guy that thinks he can manage her inner relations based on objects, right? We live in such a materialist world. And when I say materialist, I mean like historically materialist, like, and it's to the point where we found a way to quantify the way we observe and interact with everything. Like, nobody actually uses common sense anymore, because common sense, in a sense, is standardized. And if you don't coincide with those standards, when it comes to propagating those thoughts, then people just assume that it's not worth acting upon, right? Prime example, when you think about something outside the box, you typically go, oh, this is probably a great idea. You ever had those moments where you think about something extraordinary and then you're like, I'm not gonna do this shit. That is insane. But like, you write it down in your notes. Maybe I'm projecting, because I do that. Like, I'll think about something extraordinary or something I think is great, and I'll just put it in my notes or text it to myself. That's something I did for like 4 years. I would just text myself like any innovative ideas I had. And if they were outside of the box and they weren't a part of the standard of common sense, right, I would just kind of forget about it, because, you know, like I said, quantification matters so much in our world. What can you prove based on, you know, certain metrics that always seem to want to optimize everything in our life? Ironically, the things that we optimize the most in our life are never based on human emotion and physiological need. It's like the things we optimize are optimized for speed, right? Is that just me? Like, I feel like everything we optimize in life is for speed. You know, how fast can I start dating this person? How fast can I get to bed with this person? How fast can I get women to like me? How fast can I get rich? How fast can I get buff? Every time you look at a self-improvement video on YouTube, it's always tailored around the theme of accomplishing things very fast. And that's like one of the craziest problems that, you know, I feel like is a paradox in the self-improvement community, because I'm like, when are you actually, like, from an absolute sense, self-improved? Like, when have you actually achieved the thing that you've been searching for your whole life? And I don't think you can achieve it. I think self-improvement is a lie. Chasing constant improvement is a lie. And it's a systematic way of thinking that is very prevalent in today's world because of the monetary system we live by. Like, our entire economic structure is centered around perpetual growth, constantly, you know, from a GDP aspect per country, expanding the threshold of the amount of money that we can generate as a sovereign nation, right? So if that explanation was tailored to the actuality of the way, you know, the actuality behind people's interactions within our world, then I feel like that case would have to affect the characteristics and personalities of the people living within that particular society. So what I'm saying is, like, how does that affect us? Well, like I said, I think a lot of the things in our world are optimized for speed. How fast can you do something? How fast can you implement a feature? If you work in tech, how fast can you save somebody's life? Ideally, you would want to do that very fast. But you get my point. Like, how fast can you give somebody customer service if you work in the service industry? How fast can you get to a destination, right? Google Maps will show you the fastest way to get somewhere, even if that somewhere causes you to traverse through a neighborhood that's dangerous. So we've essentially replaced the quantity or quantification of a particular material in this world over necessity and human preference, in a sense. It's just so it's very strange, man. Like, for a long time I couldn't make videos in my car because I felt like I didn't have, like, I would say a bunch of stuff, but I really wasn't saying anything. And I knew what I was trying to say, but I did not like the concept of just putting out thoughts into the world, because I feel like thoughts are very powerful, right? And I feel like, you know, I don't have millions of people watching me, but I do think that things I say may intersubjectively instill themselves in you eventually if you listen to me a lot. So I don't really like talking about stuff I don't know. For example, I do not think anybody on YouTube is actually authentic. From the container of a personality-based market like YouTube, the raw material, right, the personality would have to be non-commodified, in my opinion. You cannot commodify a personality and not give it a brand and then expect people to feel genuinely close to that source without manipulating your audience. I don't really like the concept of manipulating people. If I don't know something, either at my job or, you know, if I'm talking to you in person, I'm just not gonna say anything. I'm gonna just like say the obvious. I would rather say the obvious than say something completely incorrect and misinformed, because the world is too much, it's so much more complicated for just a human being to understand. And there are many things that I believe that can't be explained. I think when you try to explain it, you do it a disservice, because some of those things are only meant to be understood by the subject. And I'm a firm believer in the subjective. I truly believe that there are some things in this world that only you can understand, bro. And it won't make sense to anybody but you. So if you have an idea, or you have a particular, like, I was about to say implementation, my bad. I just got off work. If you have an idea or some thing you want to do, but it won't make sense to people in your life, you probably should just do it. Because, like, if you truly understand the nature of that subject and you think that it is you see what I'm saying? Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? I'm not saying go out here and, if you have an idea and the idea will make you crash out, I'm not saying go out here and crash out.